Okay, good afternoon, students. So today we are going to study all about transformation. And in transformation, we will be going for the transformation as per your syllabus of Introduction to Molecular Biotechnology. So before I actually go for the transformation, I just hope you all remember competent cells. And I told you competent cells are the cells which have their altered cell wall. Cell with altered cell wall. That means there is the presence of pores within the cell wall that may be due to any mechanism, may be due to any process, say electroporation, giving the hot heat shock treatment, whatsoever it is, right? So when bacterial cell wall is altered by giving certain treatment in the way that it has pores, transient pores. That means the pores will remain open only for certain time, and thereafter they will disappear. And whatever DNA is in its surrounding, that will be entering into, right? So this alteration of cell wall, this is what is known as transformation. So this is what alteration of cell wall is no transformation. This is said to be competent. Cells in whose cell wall has altered it, those cells are called as competent cells, right? Now cells have in reality they have uptaken the DNA, or we just see students, there can be two criteria. In one criteria, there being the transient formation of the pores and DNA successfully entered into the host cell. This is the one mechanism. But on another case, there can be the criteria, there can be the circumstances, there can be the condition where although pores are generated, but cells didn't uptake any foreign DNA. The case where foreign DNA is uptaken, that include the process that is said to be transformation, and where there is no uptake of the DNA, there is no transformation. Transformation, that means certain change is taking place. Transformation, right? That means if foreign DNA has entered, or it has been taken by the cell is what bacterial cell, and the cell into those bacterial cells whose cell wall has been altered, they are said to be competent cells. And if competent cells have uptaken the DNA, then we call it as a transformation, right? This is the transformation. That means it is the process by which foreign DNA is introduced into the cell. So this all is the process, how it will be entering inside. I let you know in the process. So this is all that is said to be transformation. Now you must be thinking transformation is needed for study of bacteria, because here the bacteria that we usually have is E. coli. So you must be thinking about it is nowhere concerned to the plants, and here just all together we are just focusing on the we are just focusing on the study in bacteria, like whenever any foreign DNA is taking place and what alterations are going on within the host cell. Right, this must be coming into your mind. But it is not only important for study in bacteria, but also these bacteria, they act as a mean for both storing and replicating the plasmid. That means the external this extracellular DNA that is entering from outside to the inner side, that is often said to be the foreign DNA. This just will be since it will be entering into the bacteria, so within the bacteria it can be stored. So this is also one of the purpose. Instead of study in bacteria, it can be stored, and within the store, when it has entered into the host cell, then it could use the host genetic machinery, and it can replicate its number of copies also. So transformation has many advantages. Very first is it is used for studying the processes that are going on within the bacteria. Second, it is used for storing the plasmid, and even often it is used for replicating of the plasmid. So this is what we say is transformation and its importance. If we go back to the historical say information, then scientists what they did, they actually scientists what they did, they made many genetic modifications. Actually we used to have bacteria, but it is as I said, there are two possibility: bacteria may be transformed or bacteria may not get transformed, right? There are always two possibilities for a single parameter. Like you when you tow a coin, then either head can be there or either tail can be there, right? There are only two possibilities. In the same way, when you are going for the transformation of the bacteria, only two possibilities are there: either the cells get transferred or either they are not transformed, right? If they are not getting transformed, then in that particular case, what the scientists put their effort, scientists they put their effort, like what they did, they whatever the cell that was to be prepared as a competent cell, they modified its genetic content so that the strains which are now available, that means I could say the strains, the new strains which are now available, they can be easily transformed. So what they did, genetic modifications were made by certain scientists so that the cells are easily transformed, right? And in addition to it, certain treatments were also given, because if the cells, if we are changing the genetic, we are going for the genetic modification of the cell, then we often need to look after the, okay, we say now the newly developed strains are efficient enough in taking the foreign DNA, but the procedure that is actually pushing this foreign DNA into the bacterial cell, that is also to be looked after, no? That means it is not only that we scientists went only for the modification of genetic content, they also discovered the various treatments that pushed this foreign DNA from outside to the inner side of the cell. So this discovery treatments were also discovered so that transformation efficiency could be increased, right? So this is all about introduction. The next is, before we proceed for any experiment, what we need to know? We need to know what are the requirements what are the requirements for carrying out a particular experiment, right? So the requirements goes like this. Very first, we require the instrument. These requirements are in terms of equipments. Very first equipment that we require is incubator that works at 37 degrees Celsius. Then we require this is a shaking incubator. On the other hand, we also require incubator that is stationary, that is no more revolving. Then we require water bath. We require an bucket that is totally filled of ice, and the ice bucket only we need. You should not go for having a bucket and filling it with ice. No, ice bucket filled with ice we require. We require certain tubes which are called as microcentrifuge tubes, and then we require a spreading device. These all are the pictures of the equipment which are required. This is shaking incubator. See, when we talk for the shaking incubator, see, these are the holders. Within the shaking incubator, these are the holders. And these holders are of this shape. And here can be easily fixed what we call as a conical flask, right? This can be easily fitted here. And this is the panel where we have switch on off button, and from here a rotation, like how fast or how slow it is to be shaped, that can be controlled from this panel itself, right? and it can be closed. Actually, what is the purpose of using this shaking incubator? Like when it shakes, it provides oxygen because within the conical flask we used to add media. If this is the conical flask, within the conical flask we add the media, and within the media we have competent cells which are to be transformed. So cells are also of two types. One is they are aerobic and another is cells are anaerobic. When we talk for the category that is called as aerobic, that means the cells require oxygen. But if cells are not moving, if we are not shaking this flask, then there will not be any entry of the oxygen into it. Although it is covered with cotton plug, so that cotton used to have pores, so air used to enter inside. If we are leaving it uncovered, then there may be the chances of many other microorganisms to grow on this media, because media is supplemented with all the nutrients which are actually required for the growth of cells, right? So here what is this? Like this is basically required for providing oxygen. Although you can manually shake it, but for how long you will manually shake it? It is going to be very tough if you go for if you have to manually shake it for a 5 hours in continuity, right? So to avoid any such tiring processes, we used to have an instrument, and whatever content is to be shaked, that is placed here, and then it is closed, right? This is what is the purpose of shaking incubator. Next instrument that we have is stationary incubator with us. Stationary means it is no more revolving, and this is the stationary incubator. You all must have seen in your lab also. It used to have many shelves. Many shelves used to be there, and all the shelves have pores on it. So whenever you want to grow your cells, then it is the control panel. Here also there are the options to increase, decrease the temperature, and one rotator used to be there by which you could put on air blow, right? So when the air will be blowing, heat will be circulated from either bottom to up or up to bottom, depending upon this configuration of the instrument, and whatever instrument they are to be utilized, they can be sterilized here, and even the media onto which are placed cells, they can also be kept here at a particular temperature, so that they could grow properly. Because every microorganism require a particular temperature for its growth, and that temperature in turn can be provided by the stationary incubator. Then this is the water bath, where we used to have one rack, and onto this rack can be placed different say glassware, like glass tubes or conical flask, whatsoever is your motto. That particular glassware can be utilized depending upon the configuration of water bath. Here also temperature can be increased, decreased, and this is basically required for the processes which usually take place at a specific temperature, because we are all aware of enzymes, and we say if any reactant is to result into the formation of product, then all the reactants, they need a particular temperature to react together, because each process is monitored by a particular kind of enzyme, and enzymes are active at a particular temperature only, right? So water bath is required for the continuation of certain chemical reactions. Here, another equipments, these are said to be microcentrifuge tubes. These are made up of plastic, and this is its lid. Once it is filled, it can be closed. But while you handling it, care must be taken, like these are sterilized, and moreover, it is not to be overfilled, because while the time we will be plugging this lid, we will be placing this lid above this tube, then it may result into the flowing of the media from inside to outside, because so appropriate amount is to be taken inside and that is to be utilized. We usually fill these micro centrifuge tubes by using this micropipette. This is the tip of micropipette. We used to have different size micropipette tips, and here used to be, I just maximize it. This here used to be the reading, like it basically used to it is basically utilized because it can even pick up the concentration in microliter also. So when we are to pick up the concentration, this is to be pressed, tip is to be placed into the media, and then slowly it is to be released, right? And in this way, when it is pressed totally, this thing is when totally touching this thing, then it is placed into the media, and then slowly it is released, and again it will come back to this position only, and while that time side by side it is filled. Care is to be taken like no bubbles are there, so that accurate concentration could be filled out. So this is micropipette. It is used for measuring the exact concentration as required. Then we have one more instrument, that is sterile spreading device. It is to be holded from here, and it is suppose if we have a media, just I let you know. Suppose if we have this kind, this is the petri plate, and we have poured here media, but you want it to be at a single level, so you use this spread, and with the help of spread, we bring all the media to a particular level. Very simple example is, you used to have tractors in the farm, in the field, and behind the tractor you used to have a leveler. That leveler, what is the performance of that leveler? That leveler bring all the merge at a particular level only, right? The same purpose is performed by this sterile spreading device that is to be utilized in the lab. But as it is named as sterile, so care must be taken like it is free of any kind of contamination, and the sterility of it can be done. How it can be sterilized? We can place it in the alcohol, just switch on the spirit lamp, and it can be placed in this spirit, in this flame that is produced, and it can be kept here till it becomes hot, right? But sometimes the glass rod we used, they used to melt while they are exposed to the flame. In that particular cases, it can be dipped in the alcohol, and afterward it can be rinsed. So these are the ways how they are to be sterilized. We could go for the flame sterilization also, but we need to look after the material. Material should not melt, right? So these all are the requirements in terms of equipments. Next is reagents what we require. See, till now it must be easy, it must be something fit into your mind, like because we are to conduct transformations, then obviously we need competent cells. Very first we need competent cells. Now these competent cells are not going to survive into the air. They require certain nutrients for their growth. So very second requirement that very basically should come into our mind is like it requires a media. It requires a media. Third, where competent cells are going to be present? There are two sources how competent cells can be prepared. Either you purchase it from the market because they are available in the ready-made form with the manufacturers. Either you purchase, or either you have E. coli cells, and those E. coli cells are here we used to have media on the petri plate, and we have media onto the petri plate. Just a minute. We have a media onto the Petri plate, and onto this media you can streak your culture. Here blue background, I'm showing it as a media, and you have streaked your E. coli cells. When cells will obtain the nourishment from the surrounding, it will result into the formation of colonies. These colonies can be picked and can be utilized as a competent cells. So this is the LB plate, and this is the one plate. These are the many plates. This is the LB media, right? And this LB media is poured. See, pouring is to be done, taking care no bubble formation is taking place. These are the requirements in terms of reagents. So this is the procedure. You had a plasmid. In the plasmid, you have added your DNA that is actually to be transformed. This is competent cell preparation. And if you want to know cell have really transformed or not, I just as I have already told you, you can often insert here antibiotic resistant gene. And on the other hand, you prepare the media, right? You prepare the media and you allow. So see, this is our what plasmid. This plasmid is allowed to enter into the bacterial cell, and process of transformation has taken place. Now you want to ensure whether transformation has taken place or not. What to do for that? You again you allow these colonies to grow onto the media, but within this media, while preparing this media, we have added into it antibiotic gene. Now the cells which have the foreign DNA, and within the foreign DNA, since is inserted antibiotic resistant gene, so the cells which have this antibiotic resistant gene, and within the media is presence of antibiotic. But the cells have antibiotic resistant gene. Resistant means they are not going to be affected by the presence of antibiotic, because they already carry a gene that is providing them resistance against that particular gene, right? So what to do? If the cells grow, if the cells will be having this antibiotic resistant gene, they will grow into the media that is having antibiotic, and there will be the visibility of colonies over the media. This is one parameter. But on the other case, if this cell has not transformed into the bacterial cell, and if that means if no transformation has taken place, then the cells which are allowed to grow here, they would not be having any antibiotic resistant gene, and as a result, they will not grow, and there will be no formation of colony. So this is a way to know the efficiency of transformation procedure, and even to know whether the cells have actually been transformed or not. So this is the procedure. So here are the certain steps of the procedure. Very first, we have to take competent cells, because if you remember, we prepared the competent cells by giving even the cold treatment also. We used to place it into the say what we say. We were placing it in ice cold, right, buckets. Then we have taken the car plates, which is containing antibiotic, and we have placed into and then we have kept it at within the incubator, so that it does not get destroyed. With the help of microcentrifuge, we took this much microliter of the DNA, and then it is added, or it is placed onto the media. See, it is placed onto the media. Then heat shock treatment is given. Then we put back on ice, and then 250 to this much liter LB media is added to the bacteria, and it is placed onto the shaking incubator. Now, to know transformation has taken place or not, we prepare separate Petri plates which have antibiotic, and we allow it to or we keep it at keep it for 24 hours. That means for the overnight, and at 37 degrees Celsius, it is incubated into the incubator. So, if there will be the presence of foreign DNA that is consisting of what we call as antibiotic resistant gene, it will grow and result into the formation of colonies. Otherwise, it will not be resulting into the formation of colonies. So this was all about today experiment. If there is any doubt, we can discuss it right now.